Oh, so now it's recording. Oh, before it wasn't. All right. So we usually have intro music. We don't today. I don't know, technical difficulties, but here we go. We're gonna go live. Let's see what we got here. All right, welcome, Lauren.
Hello.
Lauren Estes.
Estes, yeah.
Estes.
Yeah. Pretty plain and simple.
Okay.
Little vanilla on the last name, but
Oh, vanilla. What's
Estes.
the heritage on that?
Well, I live in a German town now. I honestly think I really don't know. I've been told the old Irish a little bit in there, and then German. You know, like I said, I live in Coleman, not from Coleman, but and I heard at one point, not sure if this is still confirmed, but I think there's some Cherokee in my family, which doesn't make sense. But
yeah. But what's Estes?
Estes.
Mm-hmm. Estes. Because to me, I see that and I think like Spanish. Or
people used to say Estes all the time. Yeah.
Okay, that's probably why I'm saying it.
Just my dad was a coach in the high school I grew up in, so everyone knew how to pronounce my name because of his name. So Coach Estes or Coach E, it was easy for me. So, but when you go to new towns and they don't know you, I get the same kind of effect. It's got that little extra on it, but no, mine's pretty plain.
All right, before we dive into all the things, your dad probably, I'm going to assume.
Yeah.
Your dad had a huge influence in your yes, what you do now.
Multifaceted everything.
Yeah, physical fitness, basically. So if he was a coach, what did he coach?
Well, up until he retired, he was involved with basketball, but what he was known for, and I'll highlight, was football. So he was our high school head football coach while I was in school. So, take note with that. I'm the daughter of a teacher who's also the head football coach. There's a lot of fine lines with there. And then his father was a Baptist preacher. So I was basically a walking, talking country music song, like preacher, teacher, let's go. But so, yeah, he was very involved, very athletic. And not to denote, my mother was also very athletic. She was our town clerk and librarian, which is funny. So we're just, little American family there. But Dad coached football and then basketball, and kind of through that, I was always involved in, locker room workouts. As soon as he could put me into training something, I did. The first sport I actually started with, I didn't play very long, which was softball. I was in first grade. And then that turned into basketball the following year. And I played basketball. I actually played in a tournament in basketball on Saturday, which was fun. Oh, yeah? An alumni basketball tournament. I still can't walk from it. It's great. They were like, you're not going to be sore. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, it's been a minute. My arms just trying to reach up. I'm like, oh gosh. But yeah, so via him, track, basketball, volleyball, and I cheered through high school.
So being very athletic and working out and doing all the things like I know you a little bit, and every time I see you post, it's just like, Lauren's won another 5K. Lauren's signed up 20 billion people to do another 10K, half marathon. And didn't you just recently do the Disney half marathon?
Disney Princess was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So we went to Disney, I guess drove up on a Friday, got my packet Friday night, did Disney all day, which I do not recommend. If you're going to run the half, I would do Disney after you run the half, not before, because my feet were like, let's do 25K steps today and tomorrow. But so we did the Disney Magic Kingdom on Saturday, and Sunday got up at 2:30, and then because the race, they put me in A. I've been trying to get in Corral A for years because it's based on your time.
Yeah.
And it was my first A Corral ever, for my time.
So what does that mean?
You have to be under a certain time frame. I don't even remember exactly what my time was submitted, like maybe 1:48, 1:49 or something for a half, which is not great, which is not but it's good for me,
spectacular.
Yeah, it's good. It's all right.
What do you get any benefits being in Group A?
Okay, so if you ever do like a mud run or a race where like the course is affected, and if you're trying to do well, the goal is to start as close to the beginning of the course versus going towards the end. Like with biking, you want to start first, and then there's less like traction, you know what I'm saying? Because you start at the beginning, so the course is still intact.
Right.
So for us, if we start towards the beginning, we get the positive volunteers, we get basically the beginning booms, all the stuff that starts is you're getting the first like value of it all. So the course is still intact when you're running through like mile 10. You get to see the sunrise. I love that part. Like it's just finishing you up.
Yeah.
The biggest for me is you get the most high value cheers when you go through Magic Kingdom because you're the first runners they see. So they're amped to see you because like we're out here waiting. It's 5 a.m. because you have to run before the park's open. And so when you're running through Magic Kingdom, I cry every time like a child because it's like you're running and it's like nothing. And then you see the castle.
This is so
and you're like,
beautiful.
I love being here. And you just see all these people, whether they're cheering for you or not, you're high five. And I'm like, this is great. Thanks, Matthew. I don't know. And so you run through this like awesome open area. And then you see the castle and then you get to run through it. And you're like, I love my life. I don't care. My feet hurt. I'm sweaty, but this is a great day. And then that's what you get. So Disney Princess half really takes care of you, especially towards the beginning.
You're high energy, aren't you?
Oh, it's bad. My middle name is ADHD. So it's good.
But, so do you, when you wake up in the morning, are you just like,
No.
go? Or
No, and my husband will tell you I'm the meanest person you've ever met first thing. I have to have like a general consensus of don't talk to me until like I have a conversation with myself. So does that make sense?
Yeah,
like now
totally.
on trips and stuff, some people will say yes, some people will say no. It really depends on what energy you give me. If I can tell we're kind of same vibing, I'll kind of meet you where you're at. And
Right.
but if I'm really amped about something, then you get what you're experiencing. Yeah, but with Clint, he comes in already doing something, and so I have to low him down. He has to high me up.
And Clint's your husband. Okay.
Right.
Well, you know what? I did a poor job of kind of introducing you. I just went straight into
This is what we do. It's good.
We're kind of chums and friends.
Yeah.
Evan, go to resume. So this is you are a trainer, a coach,
Yeah.
a writer, a journalist, I don't even know what this 708.
Overalls.
7 overall race wins last year. Then you just finished the half. Is that the Disney that we're talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you finished 63rd in that?
Oh no, that was my 63rd half marathon.
You've done 63 half marathons?
I went back and counted because somebody asked me, and I knew I was at least 50, but I guess I forgot 13, and so I went and found them all. And yeah, so that was my 63rd half.
That's I'm not so much a runner. I'm more of a cyclist, so that's really okay. So what is IFBB Pro?
So it's a federation that I'm in. So as a bodybuilder, you start out as an amateur. For most, the aspirations of an amateur bodybuilder is to become a professional bodybuilder. So it's the International Federation of Bodybuilding, is IFBB.
Okay.
And it is the line to the Olympia. So there's a lot of different divisions of bodybuilding. And like I said, I compete in the NPC, which is the National Physique Committee. And there's like OCB. There's a lot of, like I said, different like definitions of, or different divisions of bodybuilding. But the one that I compete in is aiming for the final piece being the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, which is the Olympia in Las Vegas or Orlando.
Is that the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
That's the Arnold that we went to last weekend, actually. So that's
okay.
like, that's the number 2. A lot of people want to win Miss Fitness International or Miss International whatever for the Arnold, just like they want to win Mr. and Mrs. Olympia.
Okay.
So
let you know, I have no clue.
That's good. You know so much about bikes. So we're here.
So you're a gym owner?
Yep.
It says princess.
Yeah, it was just a fun word.
Is that self-claimed princess, or are you
mentally and physically? No, I dress up, and I have been doing this. I'm not going to tell my age here. I will, but since 2012, I've been dressing up as different princesses for like birthday parties, church events, festivals, all the fun stuff.
And I know we got some pictures, so we'll hit that. You're a wife, a dog mom, cyclist, and then a hybrid athlete.
Yeah.
So that just
Covers it all.
Multi-sport. So, but you didn't put on there. You're also, aren't you a journalist?
Yeah.
I
think it was towards the top, but I don't know.
Towards the top. Okay. Yeah. But you work for like Coleman Times.
So the Coleman Tribune, which is actually,
it's
like, okay. Hey, Alabama, Auburn, whichever, but there is a Coleman Times. So actually I worked there for 2 years right out of college. So that was one of my first like official reporting journalism jobs over a decade ago. But the Coleman Tribune is actually the oldest newspaper in Coleman. They bought another newspaper and collabed 5 years ago when their editor passed. And so I've been a part of the Tribune because it kind of came with Coleman Today at the time. And now I'm just fully engulfed in the Tribune. So I cover breaking news. So that's
a lot of hats you wear.
Yep.
Does it all come naturally, or do you got to work at one? Or there's got to be one? I mean, 63 half marathons. It sounds like you can do that in your sleep.
No,
now.
Not even a little bit. And my foot will also deny that. I don't know if you've ever had to mentally prepare yourself to go to something like this and know that an hour ago you were repairing a bike or explaining a bike, and now you're changing directionally to be a person that's, I don't know, verbally sound. Like you're all of a sudden like, now I'm a great speaker. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really transfer. It's just like, in this moment, you've got to be called up to do this, just like you have to be called up to do this. Does that make sense?
A switch goes off. And
it does. It's like, you have to. It's just like, if you were ever, called to show up during a game, and like, you're a great 3-point shooter, but you're nervous, and then your time comes, you just shoot it because you can. So same goes here. Basketball analogy.
Is there, do you just find something that you have a passion for and go for it? Or do you try to put yourself in uncomfortable kind of events and things to challenge yourself?
I would say it's a collaboration of the two. I've always loved writing. I wrote plays in the 3rd grade that we reenacted. I like memorization. I used to recite commercials as part of a talent show through high school. It's real weird. There's so many weird talents. Let me just tell you, I don't even know. But writing I've always loved. Sports I've always loved. Fitness is so far outside my comfort zone. I'll tell you, like,
really?
It's terrible. The stuff that you see, like the videos I sent you, that's me practicing a lot. So like, I mean, and those are still like subpar, like in comparison to where others are. But just as, I say, I've ran 63 half marathons. Of those 63, how many people beat me? You know what I mean? So even in you finished it for sure, but like I'm a baby kind of in my sport. Like I just graduated college and I applied for draft, but no one's drafted me yet because I haven't hit the pro stage, which is the goal this year. But once you get in the draft and now you're playing for a pro team, that's where looks come in. That's where you get financial compensation, that kind of thing. So everything I do right now is super uncomfortable. But there was a time where I think we've all been uncomfortable to start, because it's just like you decided, hey, I'm gonna financially challenge myself and buy a bicycle shop because I know I'm really great at it. Am I great at the business side? Maybe not so much, but I'll learn.
Definitely not great at the business.
No idea about business. I have a lady that teaches me everything, but like I love to train. And so I'm like, I'm a trainer that owns a business,
Yeah. So. How's that been? Because I've known you for a little bit and I've seen a lot of transformation and growth in what you do, especially like I'm very envious of how well you like put and consistently put stuff on the social media. Like it's like, man, she's always doing fun stuff, and you make some funny videos and things. How do you get involved in that? Because your social media game, I would say, like is really, really good. You just put it out there. I sweat over every post. Did I spell everything right? Does this look good? Where does everything go? Who's gonna see this? How do you like manage that?
There was a day, and I think that was the challenge of it all and where the boundary got set. I posted myself, because it wasn't always this way, but I posted myself on my Lauren is Fit page on Instagram, which transfers to my Lauren is Fit Facebook page, okay? And that same day, the same post, someone told me, because I was in competition prep, and when you do that, if y'all look into bodybuilding, the conditioning level, the leanness, like it's part of the role. It's not for a long time. It's for a short time and an intentional time. But I was really close to show. I was T90. I was hyper conditioned for me. And someone commented that I wasn't lean enough on the picture on Instagram. Okay. And this is a very, I would say, whether I hide or not, I have insecurities, right?
Yeah.
But it was so loud because she was just like, you're not ready to get on stage. What are you even doing? Like, just straight hateful. Same day, a couple of hours later on, like not lean enough on Facebook, the guy told me to eat a cheeseburger. I look like a stick figure.
Oh,
so
wow.
Two hyper extending opposite reactions to the same photo. So if you think about that kind of situation, it was like that day I realized like, no matter what I post, no matter what I say, no matter what I do, my reactions are going to be my reactions, regardless of what someone has to say. So if they are not financing you, if they're not fueling you and they're not feeding you, their opinion doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, I've got to do what's going to be best for me and like my gym, the things that I have going on in my life. And it's kind of created more of I post because I want to aspire and also allow others maybe to aspire to grow. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Do you find the positivity like on a spiral downward when you get do you leave comments open?
I do leave comments open.
Do you go back and look at them, or do you just like forget about them?
So sometimes I do. There have been a few over the years that have really like just nudged me, and it's made me more aware. It's also given me a little PTSD, but I leave comments open because I feel like if I have, the ability to share it, then I should also have and dish it. I should have the ability to take whatever comes back. But I'm very intentional about what I post. Like I make sure that things are not gonna disclude or discourage, or like I always say that my gym is super inclusive. I want people to come in and be encouraged and then evolve to allow that to transfer from them to others. Like that's what I want. But in the same way, like if I post this, something that's, me in a bikini or something like that, I have seasons of that, right? I also know because of my following, like there are people who might look at that, and regardless if they know me or not, or if they understand what I do, that might be something they disagree with, you know what I'm saying? Just like, but also it's part of my process. Like eventually I'm going to have to wear that on a stage in front of X amount of people. So why wouldn't I categorize my hard work, my journey in the form of my social media platform? So there are those things, I guess.
Is it nerve-wracking to get up on stage and have a judge evaluate like your workout physique? I don't know what to call that.
Yeah. So we call it so our morning round would be our physique round, or like our suit round. And then the PM for fitness, which is the only division that has a second round that's different, is our routine round. So you're basically being judged by a person who probably has never met you, based on if you fit the criteria that they deem to be correct for that division. So you are changing your body to fit what they deem is needed. So it's a lot.
Yeah. And, within the cycling world, I know what puts into your body really helps with output.
Right.
Like if you want to go a certain distance or speed, sometimes what you put into your body changes all of that.
Yeah.
Like if you don't fuel yourself correctly, how hard is it to maintain a nutritional plan?
It's the centerpiece. As they say, you can't outwork a bad diet, bad nutrition. I could intentionally work out, do cardio, pose, do all the things forever. And if my nutrition isn't intact, it's going to represent itself within my physique. Your body is a journal of what you put in it, regardless if you write it down or not. So like for the rest of your life, if you eat certain foods that are going to inflame your gut's going to be inflamed, regardless if you think it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, so I have to be super intentional. My husband is also very aware of that because I love to eat. I sent you a picture of me eating.
I'm not sure if we have that. But.
I love eating. It's my fave. I ate on the way here. But it's also, there's seasons of having a little bit more sprinkle of fun than others. And I'm a preacher of moderation. I'm going to have just about anything I want in a moderate form. I don't take away, I don't remove, except for certain really close periods to show. But I want to be able to have a healthy relationship with food, because I've been in a place where I didn't. I've been in a place where I had body dysmorphia, and food gave me more anxiety than it gave me like fun, passion, purpose. And so now I try to teach others that if you fuel your body, as in for food, it's not a diet, because it becomes your lifestyle. It becomes something that you actually look forward to because you feel good.
Yeah.
You sleep better. Your days are better. Your stress levels are better if you can control what you put inside of you. And so for physique, the physique round of fitness, everything is an intentional step. Like we really keep up. I'm more macro based, but I do follow a meal plan closer to a show. Like macro based being I have like fats, carbs, proteins, and like a certain amount of calories that I eat throughout the year. And then as I get closer to show, I have more of a set meal 1 through 6, eat the same thing. But I like that too, because you don't have to think about it.
Are you pretty strict with yourself, or do you like, all right, I'm just gonna cheat?
Once I'm in it, I'm in it. And yeah. And you can put crap in the house, like you can have pizza, which dairy, but there's a lot of things that don't bother me because I'm so used to it. But without ease in any form, every Friday I have a burger and fries. Like that's when my one. And then for a while I was doing, and right now I have more free meals than I probably ever had. Like I would have 2 to 3, and sometimes just funsies. Like I had a piece of cake yesterday. Let's go. It was my parents' anniversary, but it's fine. But in generalization, like I have a good relationship with food.
Wait, what kind of cake was it?
Well, So I had a couple bites of, it was a peanut butter pie. And then, like the old school Hershey pies that you could get at like the BK back in the day.
Yeah.
So they have it at the Walmart and it's frozen. It comes in, you thaw it out and it's just basically like fluff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I had a few bites of each one and it was heavenly.
Heaven.
It was.
Hey, Evan, go to, I think it's movie 1.
It's healthy to be psycho.
Yeah, so here is you doing some of your
run a
fitness
marathon.
kind of
You need challenges
competition,
to
right?
find
Or practicing for it.
Yeah.
That's something you're going to do on stage, right? Like, how hard is that?
Well,
Because I can do push-ups.
Yeah.
That's like another level of push-ups because you're introducing movements. It's almost like a dance.
Right. That's
And
exactly
then
what it is.
you're also like lifting your body weight.
Mhm. So
and then throwing yourself in crazy angles.
Yes. It's all about like so we call that a skills practice. So every routine, you base your routine around what you define your strengths as. Every routine is required to hit 4 mandatory movements, which is a side split, a straddle hold, a push-up of one kind, which you just saw. That's called a hinge push-up when you go back to your elbows.
Yeah.
And then I do it in a tricep form because my tricep push-ups are better than wide for most. A normal push-up. And then I ended in like a side crock hold, which would be like a strength hold. And then what did I not say? A high kick, which would be your fourth. So and then you have a 2-minute cardio routine that you have to do in any form that you want. And so,
okay, I'm already tired just hearing that.
it's a lot, but it's so much fun because you can go up on stage with no background in any of the stuff like I just mentioned and make a routine your own. Like I did a whole routine around basketball a couple of years ago.
Okay.
I did like, I dribbled through my legs. I did some stuff. I did a cartwheel on a basketball. I did a one-handed cartwheel through the basketball in the air and did a jump and caught. Like it was just fun stuff.
Did you spin it on your finger?
I can only do it for a short time, but like I should have sent you that photo because it was like a Lola Bunny routine. I did it to Space Jam. And it was so much fun. And I don't know why, because I probably couldn't find a picture, but stuff like that, like you really can just make stuff your own. I'm a big fan of like the old, it was the 80s, 90s pants that clipped on the side.
Yeah.
And just about every routine I've done the last 5 years, I rip pants off. That's my fun thing. So like I'll be in a cartwheel, rip them off or something like that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
So there's a little bit then of stage presence and performance. How you dressing up as a Disney character. So where did your performing being on stage kind of come from?
It's so funny because I hate the stage.
Oh, really?
I really don't love public speaking. Like all these things that we're doing right now, it's really funny. I'm telling myself that this isn't real. But like I did a 4-H competition a million years ago. I did FFA creed speaking. All these things I'm telling you I'm doing, they're all speaking. But it was like, I think I made myself do them because it was like, I can do that. You're just scared, you know? And I did pretty well on most of them. Like there was several little events that I won. And I'm trying to think of the other one. Talent show stuff, like singing in the church choir at church and then singing in talent show when I was like in 3rd grade with my sister, like little stuff like that. Absolutely hated it. But I remember singing Achy Breaky Heart in the 3rd grade in a talent show. You know what I mean? Let's go. And so like times like that, I guess have increased my growth because I spoke, this is the worst ever. I don't know how old you are, but I had to talk in front of a group of like 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. The most terrified I've ever been. Oh my gosh, I was sweating bullets. It was awful. You know, I could sweat. But I spoke to them about health, wellness, and fitness and how those 3 things applied to their life at even their age and why it's important to deem them vital, like going forward. And so a teacher friend of mine that also trained, she's over one of their programs and she brought me in and I came in there. I was sweating before we started. I looked out there and I'm like, these kids are judging me. My outfit's stupid. I don't want to be here.
Did you try to use like pop culture language?
I brought my PA with me who's 17 and she also told me our age is the worst. She was just as nervous for me. I'm like, Izzy, what are we doing? But so she sat on the front row and I even ran a couple jokes by her. She's like, I get it, but they won't. I'm like, okay. And she's on my level. Like she's mentally 30s, you know? And so like, I just didn't, I made a couple like Lauren jokes, like unintentionally, and those were fine. But if I like try to plan them, they're not it. So I just have to go and like go in my own little way, I guess, and make it relative.
Well, owning something like your own personal gym, there's undoubtedly a lot of, I guess, holding yourself accountable because you got to show up for the people you're training.
Yep.
You say, hey, I'm going to do this event or go to this place and public speak. People are kind of watching me. How do you maintain that vigor? Because sometimes I'm just like, I I just want to sit in front of the TV and veg out and not think about all the things. And you're like, if you look at who you are, at least on the social media, you're go all the time. In fact, you posted that just Sunday.
Yeah.
You said, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Yep.
And it was like everything from church to a workout to now you're trying to get your
My notary license. I know. I thought that'd be fun. You know,
I'm just going to like.
You get a pink stamp now. I was like, I'm doing that. Is there glitter in it? Because if there is, sign me up. I was like, oh.
You did it just to have a pink glittery stamp?
Yeah. I don't know about the glitter, but there is pink. I don't know. But my mom's a notary.
Is that the first thing you researched? Is like, can I be a notary with a pink stamp?
I did Google immediately stamp colors and I just wanted to know. And when I saw it, I was like, I'm totally doing it. Let's do it. And so I just filled out all the stuff and went to the courthouse and made them my friends. They hated my guts. I was like, I called with the 17 questions before I got here. No, I'm just kidding. They were really nice.
Well, going back to it, how do you maintain being held accountable for all the things that you are injecting yourself into?
Motivated when you're unmotivated.
Yeah.
So a couple years ago, I don't remember who said it the first time, but I'll accredit it to Chris Bumstead, because even though like he is one of the most famous bodybuilders in the world, he says things that I think. Like he verbalizes inward thoughts that I probably wouldn't say out loud. He uses it with a little more flair. There's a little more color in there, but it's like he said, be the standard. So as simple as that is, be the standard. And there's been several other quotes, but that was one that's just stuck up to me, because it's like, if I can't show up to something that I am not forcing, but someone's paying me to be there for, how can I expect them to follow anything I say? Like, it's just like in a, not necessarily political, but like pastoral, anyone, a CEO of a business, if they're not willing to do what they're telling you to do, why would you ever try? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like the expectation for me is reality. Like if I tell you I'm going to be there, regardless if my motivation is tacked, my discipline is going to be, because I've trained my mind and my body to know that sometimes it's not about me, it's about them. And I know if I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. I might be 3 minutes late because I'm really solid at that, but I'll be there. And I have structurally placed myself in positions now where I'm forcibly up early every day. Like my husband gets up way earlier than I do, or he sets alarms to be. For the longest, he did the 3:30, but now it's like 3:45 to 4. But my mornings start at 4:45. Like I'm at the gym 2 to 3 days a week at 4:45, and the other 2 days between 6:30 and 7. But my bed risenness is somewhere between 4 and 4:30 every day, and it's got this good, just consistent. My day started. I'm in charge of how it turns out. I'm in charge of the outcome, and it's not based on how I feel. It's based on how I know I need to be, because just like with running a race, like sometimes you don't feel great when you start, but when you're done, you're going to be proud of yourself. So that's kind of how I treat life.
What do you start with? Do you start with a cup of coffee? Do you start with stretching? Do you start with, or if it's too personal of a question?
No, this is hilarious. I love it so much. You're going to hate my answer. I literally don't do anything, and I should have just like this flawless morning routine, because I tell people all the time what to do, like with that regard, because some people need a reason.
Yeah. I'm
my reason now. So like, I don't have something that I just go and grab. I have a reminder set on my phone every day at 5 a.m. to open my devotional in my phone, which is, I'm already at the gym at that time. So I read the Bible verse for the day. Okay. But when I first get up, I grab my handful of clothes with my eyes shut in the laundry room, because it's a walk from my bedroom. I live in a 1900s farmhouse, so it's a big circle. But I grab it, I walk to the bathroom, I lay my clothes down, I brush my teeth, I check my phone, I send my good morning text to everybody, wake them up, and then I casually get ready. And then I put greens powder in a cute little cup because it makes me feel pretty, and I mix it with my little pink what's the little coffee thing? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the little mixer.
Yeah, that. Yeah. And I drink greens standing there typically, and I tell myself to wake up, and then I usually allow whatever song was blasting from the night before when I was amped coming home to be my wake up music to get back to the gym. And that's how I start my day. It's really simple, because I'm usually there. I'm there by myself. Like Blitz will talk to me, in his little dog voice, but Clint's already left. He usually leaves about 4:20, and I usually leave at like 4:35. So there's that little transition time where it's just kind of quiet. And there was a movie years ago, and they said in the movie, I like to get up early because not all the bad or all the good thoughts have been taken yet. So it's like you get up and you're in control of the thoughts.
Sounds like a line from a Disney movie.
Yeah, it was actually a scary movie. I'm trying to think. Jennifer, who's one what's that movie called? You know what I'm talking about? Where I Volunteers Tribute. That
Oh
one?
yeah, Jennifer Lawrence.
There you go. She's in it, and then her co-star is this guy who actually, this is so sidebar, but he murders his sister accidentally, and then for years he murders these random girl to like replace her because his parents also. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
I can't remember what that movie was called. But anyways, it's like a haunting movie.
But that's a good segue into you love yourself some Halloween.
You have no idea. It's
Like,
bad.
yeah, that's your favorite holiday of all time.
When people started collaborating thinking Halloween, I was here for it. Well, I'm like horror movie scary Halloween.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also fun Halloween.
And
So it's all of
you've
it.
taken a few trips that I've seen to Salem, Massachusetts, to, I can't say that state, but you to, like, they have some kind of witches run up there, right?
They sure do.
So you've dressed up as a witch to do
Full blown, yes.
And how long was that race?
That was just
Like a 5K or something?
Yeah, there
Okay.
was one that we thought was a 5K that was 5 miles. There have been a couple of those.
Yeah.
But I've ran, it's actually a YMCA in Salem puts on the, what is it? Witch City Run is what it's called. And it's through a cemetery, or around a cemetery, which is super cool. And it's like, weather's always phenomenal. And there's like a DJ who doesn't wear shoes. I don't know. He's got dreads. He's a ball. Like so much fun. And then there's another one that's in a neighboring town. And I can't replace the name of that one. I ran that one 2 years in a row. Full costume head to toe in the Hocus Pocus red wig to the full dress.
Yeah.
With the things on the shoes. Like, and we won best costume a couple times. It's pretty fun.
It's hard to run in costume.
It really is. It's awful.
Yeah.
I love it, but I hate it.
Well, speaking of fun costumes, you might have to click through this, Evan, a few times, but there is a fun picture of you and your husband, I would say semi-dressed in costume, on the cover of, here it is.
Yeah.
Sparky Ignite. This is
Sparks Ignite.
Oh, Sparks Ignite. Okay. Sparks Ignite. And it looks, I mean, from
Risque.
yeah, it looks like it's one of those romance novels.
Sure is. Yeah. They call it something else. And I was trying to remember what it was the other day. They have like a funny word for those kind of books, but yeah, that's what it is. We'll call it a romance novel.
Now, I mean, you and your husband are the cover of this. How did that happen?
It was a total accident. This is the best story that you'll hear all day because I wanted to do something funny and it backfired so harshly. So this lady that I don't know had posted on Facebook that she was looking for a male model. Note, I said male model. And she described my husband to a T. She wanted someone between 5'10" and 6 blah, beard, muscular, tattoos, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, I know him. And so someone tagged me in it and then, or sent it to me. I can't remember. And she was from like couple hours away, and I was like, this is stupid. I'm not messaging this woman. So I did. And I was like, hey, I was like, you don't know me. I saw your post. I was like, my husband is who you need. And so I sent all these pictures. And there was one picture that I was in also. Like I sent like 8 pictures and there was one of me. And she's like, are you the girl in the photo? I was like, yeah. I'm married to him. I didn't say I'm running, but anyways, I was like, yeah. And so she was like, do you do this stuff too? And I was like, yeah. But this is for him, I was like, this is not about this one because I was mortified. I was like, absolutely not. And she was like, girl, let me message the author. I think or who you're going with. And at that point, there had been a ton of comments on this post. I'm like, there's no way on God's green earth we're going to get picked, LOL. And so a week later, we're scheduling a photo shoot in someone's house that's like 900 years away. It really wasn't. It was really funny. But I told Clint, I was like, listen, signed you up for this thing.
Oh, you
had no idea. And then we got picked, and I was like, "Oh no!" I'm screaming, and so I was like, "Oh gosh!" And he's like, "What am I doing? What are we wearing? Do we have to diet for this?" I was like, "I don't know anything. Like, I don't even know. Like, I really didn't." I was like, "This is gonna be a weird thing, isn't it?" So I almost backed out on her because I thought this is gonna be super sketch, blah blah blah.
Right.
There's this little lady who's writing books, and this ended up being the coolest thing ever. Both the photographer was hilarious, a blast. The author, she comes in, for lack of a better, just looks like a little like Sunday school teacher, super sweet. And then I read these books. I was like, girl. And so
I was going to ask you, have you
I read one. I haven't read the rest because
is like, I'd imagine you see a cover like that and who's on the cover is like, that's who they're trying to like portray
it's in the
book. Yeah. So now you and your husband are the characters.
So when they read this and they read the name Colt, who's 22, LOL, they think Clint. And I'm like, no, and I can't remember my name in it, but I'm 28, which is funny too. And I was just like, oh my gosh, because it's out there, but it is like, once you read it, now you're thinking Lauren Estes is this lady. And I'm like, she's not.
Yeah. How does that?
But it was, well, she actually,
how do you get over something like that? Does it bother you? Or
well, maybe once I got the books and I read it, and then my mom wanted a copy, I had to really think about it, because I was like, ugh,
does it get kind of
it's a little
risque?
Yeah. And so I told her, I was like, just keep in mind, like, we did this cover and it's really fun and it's really cool and whatever, but like, the words are very intentional to meet the need of this type of book. Smock, something you can Google. I don't know. Say sort of this. Anyways, but I told her, I was just like, yeah. And then my grandmother wanted a copy too, and Mom's like, probably not. And so I don't know that she ever got one, thank goodness. But I just wanted just the coolness of being on a cover to mimic, these descriptions of these two cool people, And even though like the books, like I said, were a little, it was still so fun, because it's like, how many people can you be like, hey, I was on a book cover one time, But we ended up doing, so that was the second one. Okay. The first one was Sparks, was that Ignite, I guess? So the first one was Sparks Fly, and we did that one like 8 months before that. She contacted us again, and we came back and we shot Sparks Ignite with the motorcycle, which was really cool.
Oh, fun.
And I don't know that I think I've ridden on a couple maybe, but that one was super nice. I was scared to hurt it. And I shot a second one by myself.
Wow.
And that one was terrifying. And then I came back and shot another one by myself. So I've been on 4. So it's wild. I didn't send the other ones.
That's not on your resume that we just popped up, like romance novel model.
No, but I would totally do it again. Like anytime she texts me, I would be down. But they are literally two of the nicest people I've ever met. So it was super cool.
Well, that makes me think about this question. You're in all the things with especially the bodybuilding sport, which is very heavily focused on body image, right, or what you can do to manipulate your body to look a certain way.
Right. And
then you got your gym. Disney Princess, this romance novel, and then also working for Coleman Times Tribune.
He's like,
whatever.
Whichever.
Like an appearance and an image is kind of crucial in a lot of the industry that you're in. So looks, appearances. How do you, as a gym owner, encourage clients because I've seen a lot of your social media where you have people are coming in and who, when they can't even walk around the block sometimes, and they're starting their fitness journey. What do you do to encourage them and get them motivated that it's not about looks, it's really about how you feel and what you're doing for yourself?
I push the 3 E's all the time. I always say edify, educate, empower. Because like the moment that you come in, I want you to
say that again. Actually, slower.
I think I need to write that down because that was cool. The 3 E's, Estes, edify, educate, and empower. I should probably add encourage in there too. But from the moment they walk in, my goal is for you to forget about any insecurity you had before you came in, and to know that you're working towards a journey of being who you value yourself, who you want to be, working towards your purpose. Like, I want it to be completely inclusive. So I do have like harsh beginners. I have people that are advanced and doing bodybuilding shows with me now. I have all walks of life. I have men now that come, which is awesome. Yeah. And it was never that I didn't push for it. It's just, I didn't necessarily cater to those needs or have that opportunity. Mm-hmm. And then honestly, it started with one of my clients. I've had guys sprinkle in for years, but I had, one of our local, we won't name names, but a really awesome person in our community. I trained his 2 boys and loved them. They're great. And through that, I met their uncle, and who also is a prominent member in our community. And we call him the OG now because he is the guy that started it for us. He comes every day at the same time. He is one of my most consistent clients. He's a retired Leo that just came back actually. Mm-hmm. And so like he really springs a step in that it doesn't matter where you were, where you started, where you're going, if you're retired, if you're a male or female, whatever, he just pops right in, fits in with the best of us, takes every spin class I teach. Like he is one of my favorite people. I had dinner with him Friday night. We went out with a group from the gym.
Burgers and fries.
Oh, it was actually Lupe's. We had Mexican Friday. I know, but it was for a birthday. And he's awesome, and he really opened that door to making other men feel like they could be included, that they would be appreciated. Like it wasn't just like, we are like a woman's gym. Don't get me wrong. Like that's why I founded it. But it's not about that necessarily. It's about making every person feel like they can come in and be themselves, have a great workout, and leave feeling better than when they entered. And because of him, I have another. Really, it's like a husband and wife combo that train together 4 times a week.
Oh,
and
that's
then
awesome.
that flew into more. And I have so many couples now. It's almost like a couples, like for different things, not for all of them, but like specific sessions, personal training, and also classes. So realistically, I think I am the same scenario as when it comes to church. It's like you don't have to get better to come. You just have to come to get better. And so
Yeah.
if you take yourself as you are and know that you're going to go and work towards going somewhere else, somewhere better, transforming, then just, accept yourself today and know that you're in that transition to get where you're trying to go tomorrow. And that's what I want. I just want someone to come in, be coachable, be willing to listen sometimes, because it's really hard if you're listening to someone, not necessarily, I'm going to try to word this the right way. It's hard listening to someone who is where you want to be, knowing you have so far to go, or
Yeah.
also listening to someone that's younger than you. There's a lot of things that I struggle with. I have serious, both FOMO and imposter syndrome, fear of missing out on all
Yeah.
things, and then feeling like I'm not good enough to talk to people about certain things, even though like my life experience, I do have accreditations, like I have those things in my back pocket, but still like, why are people listening to me? Why are they coming to me? I'm like a spastic little blonde girl running around all the time. Why do they ask me any questions? But it's like you put yourself through these cool things and accomplish these fun tasks, and other people want to know how they can do it. Will they follow through? That's going to be up to them. But you can give them the Bible to read. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just have to choose to read it. And so that's what I basically, I kind of push at the gym, is like, at the end of the day, I want you there. I'm going to help you in any way. I'm going to hold you as much accountable like as I can, but you have to choose to follow through with those actions. Discipline is not taught, it's learned. And it's a behavior that you have to actively choose in a consistent way every day. It's a habit that you build on. I was going to make a funny joke, but I won't do that one. But I don't know. But it's something that like any person who enters my facility, can get better with one class, because they get that initial fear out. First time I rode on clips.
Yeah.
Oh my Lanta. Absolutely not. Do you know how many times I fell? I was in my house in circles. I hated it. I'm like, I'm done. I'm never doing this again. I am not a cyclist. I have a bike tattooed on the back of my neck. I wear this every day for my friend Kristen got me this in like 2015. 10 years later, we still going. I've replaced the chain 78 times. But those clips were terrifying.
Let's talk about your old Dolce.
Ask me what year she is.
Yeah, what year is she?
2016.
2007. And that's kind of, I think, the first year you and I came to know each other.
Yep.
And here's what I remember about that. You wanted the bike, you liked the bike, but you wanted pink handlebar tape. And I don't think I've ever seen the bike without pink handlebar tape. So why pink?
And it's so funny. Sidebar, people think that this is just like a recent thing, like the Barbie movie. I'm like, no. Coming out the womb, we've had an issue with the color pink. Like when I tore my ACL in college, I had to get a pink Dawn Joy. My dad was like, that's stupid. I'm like, we're doing it. If I got to be locked up in this, it's got to be pink. Still have it. But like pink has just been like this, you know what? No, we're going to do it. So a couple years ago, I taught a vision class, and you've been to one, you know what they're like. Yeah. And I used pink as an illustration, because if you come into a room, regardless of what room it is, your eyes are going to initially be fixated, whether you mean to or not, on the color pink in an array of colors. Why, you ask? The color pink is actually a symbol of warmth, kindness, and acceptance. So typically when you see that color, it highlights this need to know, this need to, like, I'm going to check that out. Whether boy or girl doesn't matter. And that doesn't like negate anything, but I'm saying as a generalization, pink is a very welcoming, inviting, understanding color. And a lot of people use it during times of like sadness, for compassion. Like it's a highlight color of like, I'm going to give you a hug. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Pink is a hug. And so whenever I was young, and I say young, I mean young, it was just like a progressive problem. Like if it was a pink version of it, I needed it. And that was always my life. And if I ever got something and I updated it, the updated color had to be pink. And I don't know why, but it was just like the standard. It was the standard. Be the standard. And then I want to say college, it got real bad. And then it just got way worse, because then I'm paying for it. So now everything I order, And so when my parents order me stuff, like for Christmas, for outings, for things, they're like, we got you tissues. They had pink ones. You know, like it doesn't.
Do you ever get tired of it?
No, not even remotely. It's like almost annoying. I annoy myself just thinking about that. Like I had to have why? Pink cup holders. Why? I'm like, they had them.
It's fun.
You know what color my
sometimes.
helmet is?
Yeah.
I ordered it from you. My clips.
So one of the reasons for this podcast, or what I try to do, integrate it somehow, is ask about how someone first came to learn how to ride a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall riding your bike, and was it the color pink?
Oh gosh. I know there's a video somewhere. So I got my first bicycle. We had just moved into the house that I grew up in. I lived in the former house until I was 4 or 5. And it was my 5th birthday party. And I could be wrong, but I don't remember. I think it was a Power Ranger birthday party. And you can imagine which Power Ranger I fought over. And I got a bike. And I feel like it had to be something princessy. And I'll confirm with my mom, but just knowing who I was then, it probably could. It had to have something springy, a bell, like a basket. You know what I'm saying? There's something going on. And I remember there being a video of them taking the training wheels off so I could ride on it, and a girl showing me, and she actually fell into a hole trying to show me how to do it. She was a couple years older. And I remember me trying to ride it, and gosh, I guess I don't know if I had training wheels or not, but we had a dog, Simba, and I could be confusing. These are the times where I would call my mom and be like, was this my life or someone else's? But we had a dog, Simba.
Yeah.
And he was nicking at my heels, and all I think about is I was going to fall off this bicycle. And so that's my first true remembrance of bicycle riding. So I would have been 5 maybe.
Yeah.
And that was the first time without training wheels. And so I don't remember bikes prior to. I remember a lot of Alabama football cheerleading outfits, but I don't remember a bike prior to that. But that was my first bike, like baby bike.
Yeah.
And as an adult, a friend of mine who owned a business in Coleman for a long time, she actually, I won't say raised money, but she got a bike from a friend and like did some exchanges or whatever and got me my first bike. And it was before this one. It was also a Specialized, and she was silver, and I rode her for my first triathlon, a reverse triathlon, which those are fun.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag, and you know all about
I
it.
know all about
and then my first MS 150. And
Okay.
so those, to me, I really feel like the highlight of my bike life was 2014, 2015 when I really started riding.
Mhm.
So, and I'm not near, there's a level, Brandon, that you're on with a bicycle, and I shall never be that close. But
Well, there's a level of push-ups that you're on that I will never hinge push-ups. Yeah.
and that's why the Lord's like, you're gonna be good at that, and you're gonna be good at that. And y'all don't talk. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, it is the truth. He gives us purpose and passions, and we don't understand always why.
Do you recall who taught you how to ride?
The very first baby bike.
Yeah.
Oh, probably Neil Estes if I had it.
Okay.
I feel like it's probably a collaboration. My mom was way more patient, I think, in that time period. But knowing him, he probably would have been outside with me.
Okay.
So I don't know. Could have been either or, but I feel like Dad would have probably, let's go. Like, all right,
push you down.
knock me down. I'm just kidding. No.
What's next for you? What do you have on? Because I mean, knowing what I know about you, you probably have your month in probably year already. Like, I'm doing it on this date. I'm doing this and this and this, and you've got 3 or 4 major things going on in the year that you're aiming toward or building toward. Anything fun you want to share?
A lot of psychosis. I'm just kidding. I was talking to someone this morning. So this next Saturday, like the 15th, I looked and I don't think I have anything on my calendar that day. So I think I'm going to move furniture in my house and play with my house and clean and do fun things. And then after that, I don't have a free Saturday until like 2029. I'm just kidding. But like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's so like the 22nd of this month, I've ran this race the last 4 years. It's a 5K, but it's still very like, to my heart, it's the Rump Shaker, and it's in Birmingham.
Okay.
They have a giant colon out there. It's real cool. But it's for colon cancer awareness. And so
Okay.
everyone wears blue. The survivors lead the walk that starts after the 5K. It's super cool, very cool. But you run in, and I always say it wrong. Is it Legion or Region Field? Legion Field? With an L?
Yeah, I think Legion Field.
So
yeah.
your last little sprint that everyone thinks ends right there, it doesn't. That's where you want to vomit, but you have to
Yeah.
vomit further down. But you run through into the stadium, and then you circle the bases, and then you get to run. And it's the neatest thing. They're calling your name over the loudspeaker like, I'm famous. You're not. But you run in, and it's like, this is so cool. But that's the 22nd. I put a lot of like love into that race. And I had been trying to win the age group for years. Finally won it last year. I think with age, it's like you either get confidence or you just like, I don't know what happens.
You just survive longer than everybody
Yes,
else. Like,
I'm
I'm not going
still here. It's
to
fine.
sign up this year.
Yeah. I'm like, I haven't won yet.
That's when you get into the masters category.
Exactly.
You're like, oh, you won. It's like, yeah, there's only 2 guys.
Yeah, it was just me and one
So,
other person. So, but yeah, that kind of kicks off that. So I'll have like a race that week. And then the following week, same thing. I'm running with a group of realtors from Decatur. And then the following week is Oak Barrel, which is, Be Still My Heart. That's my.
Yeah. Go, Evan, go hit some of the pictures. I think there's you as a Disney princess. And then here's you.
The 5K in Arab.
Okay.
Last fallish. Something.
And then that one is first place female finisher overall. So, dang, that's your. Oh, here's a fun one. Hey, Ivy, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
She's your anti color, so she's blue. You're pink.
Yep. She's terrifying, but
stern. Why is she terrifying?
Like I've never been so nervous to meet a person.
Really?
I felt like my voice was quivering when I talked to her. I didn't know my name. I'm just kidding. But like I walked out there and I had already asked to ask her a few questions, and like I walked up to the table and I got greeted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, and so they're like, we're gonna do interviews at the end. I was like, that's totally fine. And all I wanted to do was be like, hey, you're great. Like, can I hug you? But I knew I couldn't. So I sat and did my little area stuff. I was covering an unveiling at Rahal in Coleman because we have several really cool companies that bring in a lot of like financial support, but also like so many different like faces, ethnicities. Like we have people from all over the world that work there. It's the neatest thing. I met a lady from South African Publix the other day. That's the whole story. But anyway, so she was there and I was wondering, like, why are we so hyper security today? Like there's a million people here. And I'm walking around bebopping in like an athletic dress. It's 1,000,000 degrees outside and I'm wearing the same shoes. Yeah. And so I'm like, I am underdressed. And then I see her walk in and I was like, that's why, because the president's here. Hello. And so, so she walks in. I know it's the governor. I was just making a joke. But so I talked to her at the end and it was my turn to ask the question. And I was like, oh. And it was like, I felt myself, I was like, don't throw up. Don't be weird. And I asked her, I can't exactly remember what I asked her, but it was enough for her to answer and give me like a valid statement. So it had to be like not terrible.
Yeah.
And then I left and then a friend of mine got a picture of us doing that. And he was like, and I felt the bead of sweat trickle down my face. And I was like, gosh, keep it together. But anyway, so yeah, she was really cool.
Okay, Ave.
She's so cute. I just want to put her in my pocket. She's tiny. She's like a little, she's adorable.
She's got the greatest accent.
Yes. I love what she has to say.
There's one other picture I want you to hit up, Evan. I think is really fun. Hey, there's Oak Barrel.
Oak Barrel from last year.
You and your husband.
The baby.
So this is the baby, right? What's your dog's name?
Blitz, because he greets you in the form of a linebacker hug.
Okay.
So.
I think I've seen on some of your social media, like when you've been away from Blitz and you come home and like that's your like, okay, I'm home.
Yes. It's like a whine cry. Like he's like, you left me and you hate me. I'm like, you're literally my entire life. What do you mean? But no, he's 8 years old. He's about 90 pounds and he thinks he's about this size right here.
Yeah.
So he acts as a lap dog and I allow it because I love him and I am a pushover. So but yeah, he's a great dog.
All right, your social media. Where do people follow you? What's your handles? Your Instagrams? Do you do the TikToks?
I do the TikTok. I'm terrible at it, but we do it. We try real hard. Lauren Estes Fitness on TikTok. Lauren Estes Fit on Instagram and Facebook for my business page, and then Lauren Estes Bailey on my Facebook personal page.
I'm try to at the end of the podcast attach all the things. I'm terrible with the social medias. Speaking of, we got a little cat coming in here.
Yeah. Side note, I'm actually allergic to your little cat.
Really?
I have an inhaler in my car just in case.
We got a funny cat, Greg LeMond.
Oh.
And she is a girl.
Surprise.
So when we got her, they thought it was a boy and it was just, so no one knew. I don't check animals.
No.
But they had named it, they had picked up and rescued it in a Lululemon bag. And so they named it Lemon or Lululemon. And we were like, we can't have a boy cat named Lemon.
And that would have been perfect had you known.
So we added a D, which makes it LeMond.
Yeah.
And Greg LeMond's one of the best cyclists out there.
There you go.
Won the Tour de France. And then we took it to the vet to get some health checks done. And he's like, well, congratulations. Your boy is a girl. So, but we just kept it Greg LeMond. So that's the funny story about our shop cat.
And the rest is history.
I'm sorry you're allergic.
No, I had cats growing up when I was young. And my fondest memory, I would have been in 8th or 9th grade, and I was at a slumber party, and I woke up with my eyes swollen shut, and we didn't know why. And I had to play in a basketball tournament that day, and I called my mom, was like, something's wrong. And I had slept on this like bearskin rug, but it was like a rug like that in front of the fireplace with a bunch of other girls. And she was like, well, you know, whatever. And so I took Benadryl, and that calmed it down. And then we realized over time that that's what it was. And so every time I've ever like slept on things, it's like, I just did it. My nose just starts itching. And then I don't know if it's like also like a weird like tick that I can't get rid of. My mom has a cat. I went over there yesterday. All I did was rub my nose and my eyes. And I never came in contact with it. Nothing. Just like a psycho. I don't know.
No.
It's good.
Well, I do, in the theme of pink, have a gift for you.
We love a pink
Let me see
gift.
if I can.
Ellen DeGeneres does this on her show, and normally people scream afterwards, like out
yeah?
of fear. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
No jump scares
Nothing's gonna
here.
pop out.
So this is for you.
Aw, thanks.
And thank you for being on the show. And I'm just getting started with all the things. So I think what I try to always involve with the show is somebody who's positive and happy about life and really hits and sets up for goals. And you do that really, really well. Like, you inspire me. I look at stuff that you do and are planning for, and you're just like, you have a plan of action. It's a smart goal, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. And it's just like, dang, she does that and nails it every single time. And like, it's really fun to see how you've progressed over the years and all the things that's changed in your life, because you just kind of keep stepping up and making your fitness studio better, involving yourself in other things, like a notary. I mean,
I don't know.
Why not?
Sounds fun. Yeah.
So, but that's a little thank you. It's a kind of a newish logo that we have. So it's our sunset logo with little headphones on it. So
I love that. So much fun.
Odo.
The best thing that you can do is kind of evolve and grow, but stay, true to your boundaries, your morals, your ethic, values. Like, all those things are super important, and that's what you want to build off of. I really believe, like, I have learned so much over the years. If you knew me in 2015, I'm not the same girl now. If you knew me in 2017, same, because I've experienced life. I've had heartaches. I've had trials. I've had tribulations. I've had a lot of wins too, though.
Yeah.
And it's important to really apply those and grow and move forward, because if not, like, that's how your resume in life is built, to me, is like, how did you deal with the loss? How did you deal with the win? Some people really humbly can't take either one. And it's like, those are the applications that you truly grow from, and how your character is built. And so I think for anyone, watching, listening, my biggest challenge to you is to kind of look at yourself and see if you're happy with where you're at. And then ask yourself the question of, am I okay with staying here? Do I want to change? And am I willing to put in the effort to make the changes? And then from there, your future's up to you and the people that you surround yourself with, because your vibe's your tribe, your tribe's your vibe. So all those things, like, it's a lot of fun little liners, but it's real life, So
you're a force, a force of positivity, and people notice you and they gravitate, and they're like, who you are online is who you are in real person. That's, some people can see, like, oh, they're really acting, and that, like, who you are, what you put out there is.
It's just as awkward in person. Oh, yes, I am. Talk to me in public. So I'm going to squint, but then I'm going to talk. I can't see anything, sidebar. I really can't. I keep looking up here like I can see it. I can blind as a bat. It's great. So, yeah.
Well, Lauren, I appreciate you and coming. Thanks for sharing the stories and all the things and letting us know about you. And I think we'll have this posted in a week or so, and hopefully it sounds awesome.
Yes. And anytime you want to have me back, I'll come back. Lord knows there'll be stuff that takes place and transpires.
We might have to do that from a standpoint of, a major event that you're doing, and then we can, like, okay,
communicate, go over.
Let's talk about how you started here. where you needed to be along the way? Because a lot of your fitness is, okay, here's the competition.
Yep.
I've got to hit this benchmark of weight,
Whatever.
or I got to be doing this amount of cardio, this amount of heavy lifting. I've got to supplement food with whatever to grow muscle,
Yeah.
and then I know with a lot of kind of body I don't know, competition. It's like you're having to almost restrict water intake when you get on the stage, and that's probably really
the illusion of conditioning.
Yeah.
It's and we actually, it's been a blessing because the last couple of years, like the harsh water pools are not as loud as they once were, because people have actually gravitated towards being more aware of health. But back in the day, a water pool was real. Like the last day and a half or so, like water was kind of non-existent, minus brushing your teeth. But like now, especially with fitness, like it's very important for us to stay hydrated to keep our joints safe, because that routine is very harsh. Like a lot of people get hurt in prep because of how low your body fat is and how little cushion. We don't realize how much cushion plays a role when you get old. But like having, support around your knees, that's why we look like we're going to war every time we go practice, because it's like knee pads, elbow pads, wrist little thingies, all the stuff. But so like for that, I'm in a season that I just came off of what we would call, I'm sorry, I'm talking more, but not necessarily bulking. A lot of people used to call it that, but it's more of an off season of, because you're always in season if you're a bodybuilder. It's just different seasons of what you're doing. So mine was more of an intentional like season of growth. And so now the foods are basically the same. They're just coming down. So where, I was eating in excess of calories to mimic my excess of life. Now I'm just cutting them down a little bit, but still keeping my activity levels high. So you're in more of a deficit. And so like, just to give you retrospective, 2 weeks ago, I weighed 7 pounds more than I do now, just because I've cut my food down a little bit. And so it would be interesting to see what I look like right before or after a show, because it won't be like this, which like, I'm comfortable in my body at all seasons, because I know there's purpose behind it. But it is neat to see the journey of what a 12-week prep for me would look like, being and acting in a caloric deficit while maintaining, high energy levels and, or trying to, in my workouts.
Yeah, let's plan on something. Like, so let's find a thing that you're training for, and then figure out a way to document it, and then have you back and say, okay, here's
where she was.
Here's where I was. Here where I was mentally. Here's the end, and here's how I'm feeling emotionally. Awesome.
Yeah, fun.
Well, thank you.
And thanks, Evan.
Thanks, Evan.
Yeah, he's like,
I think we can cut it out and sign us off.
Awesome.
So appreciate you guys listening, and we'll be back again hopefully next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Okay, awesome.